far as news on the Nigerian polity was concerned in the outgoing week, it was a mixed bag, with the DSS discountenancing information that it had been served with actionable intelligence about the attack on the Imo Correctional Center well ahead of time. Add to that, Southeast governors opened the week with the establishment of a regional security outfit to tackle security issues in the region. But other stories are compelling our attention today on Issues with Jide. Welcome to the program. The hallmark of fragile democracies, that's how former President Goodluck Jonathan described countries with numerous court cases after elections. Boko-Haram increases attacks on soldiers and civilians as the humanitarian crisis in the northeast worsens. That's where we're headed today on the program, and it's all about informed commentary on Issues with Jide. Welcome once again. Let's take a break. All right, it's nice to have you join us on yet another edition of Issues with Jide. Babajide, welcome to the program. Nice to have you as always.
Thank you for being my companion.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's set the ball rolling. President Goodluck Jonathan says the ballot should determine outcome of election results and not the courts. Of course, we know what he's saying is clear, but what is he trying to say that we're not hearing, especially ahead of 2023?
Yeah, the point he's trying to make is that the electoral umpire is increasingly being shut out of decision making as it affects elections, meaning that increasingly the courts have the final say on who has won an election and not the electoral umpire. And it is in Nigeria that this is such a big problem. We have not reached that point yet. I have to make that point clear, that we have not reached the point where the courts will no longer have a say in who wins elections in our country. The manner in which we rig elections, the fact that parties do not prepare sufficiently before even presenting candidates to run for elections, means that on many occasions, some candidates would not have met all the conditions that ought to be met before they can stand for elections. When that happens, the opponent will certainly go to court. And sometimes they allow you to win before going to court, meaning that the court will have no choice but to simply pronounce the loser the winner of the election. And of course, because we have a situation in which even the parties find it difficult to achieve unanimity amongst themselves in the choice of candidates, some aggrieved persons will go to court. We saw what happened in Zamfara State, where clearly the APC boxed itself into a corner. There are three tendencies in the Zamfara APC, and all three tendencies refused to agree that indeed a primary election had taken place. The national leadership supported one of the tendencies and claimed that primaries were held and that candidates emerged by consensus. But the two other groups said, no, it didn't happen. And what the law says is that before a candidate can be accepted as someone who had won a primary election by consensus, all the contending groups must have agreed that this is our candidate. That didn't happen. In the end, APC lost all elective positions in Zamfara. And today, PDP is the ruling party in Zamfara. Of course, it was the courts that did that. The way we rig elections in our country, people are bound to go to court. In 2015, we used the card reader for the first time, and the card reader appeared to have sanitized the election to a great extent. The rates of post-election litigation went down drastically. But that was because we used the card reader a lot. In 2015, the rate of use of card reader was 54%. In 2019, it came down to 19%. In 2020, talking about the off-season elections, it came further down to 16%, meaning that increasingly we are bypassing the card reader as a means of verifying the authenticity of voters, electronic authentication of voters. We are bypassing it because we badly want to rig elections. So what you actually see happening in many states is vote allocation. Politicians colluding with INEC allocate votes to themselves. I understand perfectly what the former president was trying to say. The primacy and the fidelity of our elections must be assured. But we can't have that under the present arrangement. And if we can't have that, then the courts will have to step in at some point. You see party leaders stopping people they do not like from contesting in the primaries. Such people will go to court. And if a particular a candidate that was favored by the party won an election, and he was not the true winner of the primary election, of course the courts will take it from that fellow. How come a country like India, the biggest democracy in the world, is able to do elections and by the following day a winner will clearly have emerged? It is because India allows the voter to participate fully in even authenticating
the electoral process.
Yes, the electoral process itself. We are trying to do that now.
And that's where
we did it a little bit in my view in Edo State and Ondo State. If people can monitor the voting process from point one right up to the final stage, and they can see that clearly the process has been transparent, the process has been fair, they will have no reason to go to court. And whoever is declared winner by the returning officer or whoever had the mandate to declare the winner of the election, people will accept that that person deserves to win. But our system has not reached that point. Our system is not perfect. People are saying, yes, let's have electronic
transmission of results.
Electronic voting machine and the rest of them. Technologically assisted elections will help us, but the human element still cannot be wished away. We have to reform ourselves as individuals and as a people. The former president is saying, look, let's reform the electoral process. As Nigerians, we need to reform ourselves.
True.
And then even the courts also need to be reformed, because a lot of those courts are giving judgment to the highest bidder. So we must reform the courts, the judiciary itself. As individuals, we must reform ourselves.
Especially at the party level.
The politicians, we must achieve an attitudinal change on the part of the politicians. When we have this and we reform the electoral process, everything will then begin to go fine. When people lose elections, they will accept that they deserve to lose.
And Jide, one of the vehicles that will take us to that destination of credible electoral process is the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. But do you see that becoming a reality by 2023?
The fact that up till now, the executive has not done something about the electoral bill will suggest to you clearly that we are not interested in sanitizing the electoral process. We are not interested in electoral reform. We are still interested in election rigging. That's my simple answer.
Now to the second topic. Increasing attacks in the Northeast and the humanitarian situation is worsening. What is the implication of this on the socio-economic fabric of the life of the Northeast, given that attacks are increasing?
The attacks are increasing because ISWAP appears now to be the beautiful bride of the Islamic State. The more attacks you make, the more attention you draw to yourself. And once you increasingly draw attention to yourself by the attacks you carry out, then the parent body, because Islamic State is the parent body of ISWAP, they are affiliated to ISIS. So they will provide the funding, they will provide logistic support, and sometimes they will even provide men to help them in fighting, because some of the people who come to fight in our country are not Nigerians. Some of them are paid fighters all the way from Mali, even Libya. And some of the equipment that they use are also from Libya, from Mali, and other countries. So they need constant funding from the parent body. And the way to do that is to draw attention to themselves by increasing attacks on military formations, by increasing attacks on civilians. And they are now creating more and more checkpoints, illegal checkpoints. And at those checkpoints, people will be abducted. If you are found to be a soldier, you get killed. If you are found to be an humanitarian worker, you get killed, because they don't want to see humanitarian workers in that area. They are targeting communities where, in Borno North, where we have a good number of humanitarian workers. Dikwa, Marte, Damasak. We have a good number of humanitarian workers in those communities, and they've been attacking those communities for weeks now, chasing away the army. I saw a video that thoroughly embarrassed me, where Boko-Haram was prancing through the streets of Damasak. They raided the hospital, took away consumables, took away ambulances and the rest. And then later the Nigerian army posted a picture showing that they are in charge. Yes, you could be in charge, but were you in charge at the time they raided the place? That is the point. Were you in charge at that time? I even saw the body of a Nigerian soldier on the floor. So this is the thing. They know why they are launching these attacks. They want to show that they are still very much, very, very effective. And that serves the purpose of drawing the attention of their international sponsors. So we have to do our best to win this war, because increasingly our people are suffering. From Damasak alone, up to 100,000 people fled to Niger Republic. Already we have Nigerian IDPs in Cameroon, we have Nigerian IDPs in Chad, we have Nigerian IDPs in Niger Republic. It's so sad that we can't protect our people. Our people now need to go to foreign lands before they can be convinced that they are safe. This is what these attacks are pushing our people to do. But not a huge expanse of land, but there are only very few communities where you find people. I'll give the example of Abadam local government. Abadam local government has no less than 135 communities, but there's not a single community where people are living. All of them have fled to Niger Republic. And some of them have been there since 2014. So you can imagine people.
And sometimes they are attacked even in Niger Republic.
Yes. But of course, there are more attacks here. Between January 1 and March 17, ISWAP launched 212 attacks on Nigerian soil. Whereas during that same period, they launched only 9 attacks in Niger Republic. And they launched only 1 attack in Chad. So that should tell you that within that Chad basin, Nigeria is the least safe. And that's why our people are increasingly going to hide in Niger Republic. Even our people in Katsina, some of them work in daytime, at night they go to Niger Republic to sleep. That is already well known. Some big business people, they conduct their businesses in Nigeria and then go to sleep inside Niger Republic, because they are not sure that at night they won't attack their community. Banditry has created not less than 3 million IDPs in our country, whereas we are not at war. We've got to deal with the security problem that we are facing. Otherwise, we'll be in a much bigger problem.
And we can't talk about it enough. It's been said that the northern elite has failed the people of the the Northeast, not just the Northeast now, the entire North, because banditry and insurgency is now pushing further down south, further down into the Northwest and other parts of northern Nigeria. What do you propose as a socio-economic plan for the development of the North that will take away the youth from the attraction to insurgency?
We must first defeat the insurgency. First things first. If you do not defeat the insurgency, you cannot put any plan in place. All kinds of laudable plans can be hatched in the interest of the poor young people of northern Nigeria who cannot go to school, who have been displaced by banditry and the Boko-Haram's version of insurgency. But we must first secure those areas. When we secure those areas, we can think about building schools, we can think about bringing industries that will provide job opportunities for the people. We can think of the Safe School project, for example, for which even the World Bank gave us some millions. One would want to say that it has failed because we have not been able to secure our schools. People still get kidnapped. So you ask, what is going on? We've got to be able to secure our people. That's the first thing that we must do in the north. Look at the whole of the Northwest. There are 7 states in the Northwest. Only Kano and Jigawa are safe. Other states are not safe. So, and you go to the Northeast, virtually everywhere is not safe. In the Northeast, even Taraba, they kidnap people in broad daylight. They break into your house and kidnap you. They go around in groups of up to 20. Moving from street to street, kidnapping people in Taraba. So, what can we do? We've got to secure the North so that we can come up with plans that will ensure that the North lives up to its potential.
I wish we could go on and on. There's so much more to talk about, but we must leave it there for now. And the leaders in the northern Nigeria, the entire North, have their work cut out for them. Security of lives and property is very, very important. We hope to read less of these stories when next we come your way again on Issues with Jide. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this program by following us on our YouTube channel. We're on YouTube at TVC News Nigeria. We're on Facebook at TVC News NG. We're on Instagram at TVC News NG, and we're on Twitter at TVC News NG. Babajide, it's nice doing this with you. I look forward to it. Same time next week.
I'll be back next week.
Yes, definitely. So from both of us, we say bye for now.